Yo, yo, yo. I wanted to make a quick video of my recap of my time at the National. I only go when it's in Chicago. I live in Milwaukee. I don't really feel the need to go through all the travel and everything to go when it's in Cleveland or like Atlantic City or any other place. But, a one day trip to Chicago to go and just check out, the whole floor, buy a couple things that I'm, kind of hunting out for and, just see all the cool stuff that's out there. That's enough for me. I do give a lot of credit to people who can grind it out for 4 or 5 days. That's just too much for me, and I would spend way too much money, honestly. So, but I did have a really good time. I went around. I found a bunch of stuff in value boxes, $1, $2 cards. I sent all of those off to COMC. There was a lot of tennis that I came across: Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Andre Agassi, some other players that I just thought would be, for $1 or $2, I could send those off and get, $4, $5, $7, $8, whatever, a card. And that's kind of what I've been into a lot lately. I just think that, COMC is a lot of fun. They launched their new app yesterday or the previous day. So that was a lot of fun, using that throughout and just making sure that these cards that I was buying, if I'm going to be sending them in, I could just do a quick check on the ones I was unsure of. And for the most part, I'm glad that I did, because the juice wouldn't be worth the squeeze, honestly. If I bought a card for 75 cents or $1, pay the $1.50 to get in, most of the cards were starting at like at $1.40 or $1.25. So glad that the app exists. I recommend everybody check that out if you're into that. It's great for low dollar cards, because with eBay, everything starts at 99 cents. Anyway, so I did go around. I got a bunch of those. I wandered around the floor more, stopped over and to VeeFriends, and Gary was around and got to meet him. It was a really brief interaction. He was super nice though, super approachable. We took a selfie together, but he was kind of in the moment, and and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And the ones I took, he was kind of just like looking off. I don't know if somebody else maybe caught his attention or something, but was happy to get it, even though it was pretty funny. And then I was able to get his autograph as well. So I got these two on these Allen Ginter cards. Again, super nice guy, very approachable. I asked him what he was buying, and he just said Series 1 VeeFriends. He wasn't really looking for any sports cards or anything. And when we were there, somebody pulled some one of one. He was really stoked upon that. Then, as I was walking around some more, I had my eyes set for a 57 Aaron and a PSA 6 or 7. And I was also looking for a Willie McCovey rookie in a 6 or a 7, probably a 7. I came across a couple, but people weren't really willing to trade. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But when I was walking away from another table, I just happened to glance down and see a card that I thought was at like a really good value. Quick check some comps, and sure enough, they had this Lou Alcindor here he had it listed at 11. I was able to talk him down to 1,000, and checking on comps, it's like 12, 13, and that's on eBay. So if you're doing that, you're paying, X amount of taxes and delivery and everything else. So it presents itself very nice. It's very well centered. Corners are pretty good. So I'm really happy with that. Being from Wisconsin, I'm always trying to grab all the Wisconsin legends, and I've got the Aaron rookie. I've got Giannis rookies. I've got this now. I've got Favre, Rodgers, Yount. So I pretty much just need a couple more. Molitor. I'd like to get a Bart Starr. That one's on my radar, but I'm not in any super hurry to get it. From there, I was walking around and just came across a guy who just had a whole bunch of autos, and so I quick looked through those. I grabbed this Sid Bream, not necessarily a big name by any means, but one of my buddies in our fantasy baseball league, he went by Sid Bream for years. So I picked this up for him. I'm going to just send it off to him on Monday, and hopefully he'll find that as a pretty good little surprise. But then I also found this Don Sutton that I had gotten along with Dave Parker. I think everything on here is going to end up being backwards. We'll see how this works in selfie mode. And then Ted Simmons. So pretty happy about that. 2 Hall of Famers, Dave Parker, MVP winner. And Dave Parker, I got all 3 for $20. Dave Parker alone is a $20 signature through the mail. Don Sutton is no longer with us. And Ted Simmons doesn't sign, but I've seen, when he does do signings, it's like $100 or something. So to get these each for roughly $7 a card, I was pretty excited about that. Then from there, I was walking around and I was just looking at some vintage cards, and the guy next to me said, "Man, I'm really glad that I got my Aaron rookie when I did." And I just kind of laughed. I said, "Yeah, me too." And when I looked over, I realized that it was Dylan from Double Vintage Baseball Cards. And so talked to him for a few minutes. He's got a channel on YouTube. Really nice guy, very enthusiastic about the hobby, knows a lot about vintage, and I enjoy his channel a lot. So we got to talk a little bit about that. I told him that I had a quote-unquote channel that, but it was nice talking to him and just kind of seeing what he was looking for. And he was kind of doing the same thing that I was, just he had a couple things in mind, but he was waiting for stuff to jump out at him. So great talking to him. And, Dylan, if you're watching, hope you have a great trip and enjoy your time in the Midwest before you go back to Hawaii. He did give me this card, which is super cool. And so I think if I was looking at it right, these were numbered to 20. And, just a custom card that he had made, and super cool. So thank you for that, Dylan. That's going into my PC, obviously. And from there, I was just kind of walking around, and, I wanted to do some trading because I had some doubles of vintage cards and that I'd sent in, and they weren't like, just random players. It was Ted Williams and Hank Aaron. I had like a Koufax and a Satchel Paige, and I walked up to a guy, and he had this Koufax in a 5, and I was looking at it and was just like, "Are you interested in doing any trades?" He's like, "Yeah, well, let me see what you got." And so he had mostly vintage stuff, and so I pull out all my vintage cards, and he's looking through them, and he's like, "Oh, this is the first Topps, Satchel Paige card, and the only Topps Satchel Paige card." He's like, "Yeah, I think I'd be interested in that," and I had that at 11. And he said, "Hey, did I see a Bo Jackson in there?" And I had the 90 score, Bo Jackson with the shoulder pads and the bat. He's like, "Yeah, let me see that. I've always wanted that card, and if it's in a 10, we're gonna be making a deal here." And so I had that at like 275, and we came to the conclusion, how about you give me, he said he wanted 8. I was hoping more for like 6. We agreed upon 7, and I was able to walk away with this Koufax. Wasn't necessarily on my radar for the day, but I came across it, and and the guy was willing to make a move, and so was I, and I was like super stoked to not only move some cards to somebody that wanted, what I had, but also, acquire a card that I had, because those cards were just kind of sitting in a box, and I didn't necessarily want to put them on eBay because the fees were going to be, crushing. And, it's just great that it was like an even deal. And I've tried to make deals with other guys yesterday, and they would look at my cards and they'd offer me like if they were buying them outright, 65%, give or take. And it was really cool just to have somebody who wasn't like going to just like insult you with an offer. And I don't know why, dealers necessarily do that, because it's not like Aaron is going to just sit there, it's going to move. And so So it was just great that he wanted to do that. I did go, and I guess leading up to this next story, like right after that, then I was really excited about that Koufax. Found my buddy, showed him, and then I saw on the way when I was going to meet him an Aaron in a PSA 7 that was really crisp and sharp, and tried to make a deal with this guy. And I pulled out all my cards, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm interested in this Aaron 55 Bowman in a 6 and another one in a 5." I had the 6 as 12. I had the 5 at 5, and he wanted 19 for this Aaron. And I was like, all right, well, so how much do you want to do for the difference? He's like, well, I'm going to give you 1,100 for these 2 cards. And it was like, I'm just going to walk away. It didn't make any sense to me for one card that I had at 12. Now, if you would have said, I think that's worth like 10, great. I think that the one that you said is at 5, I can do 4. Okay. But I would also think that he would come down from his Aaron price because he also said it'd be negotiable. But to just lowball me like that, I just felt like insulted. And, I've been watching a couple videos of Junk Wax Hero, and, he's done like a really good job at just like walking away, or in some event, just not backing down and staying firm, with what, he's comfortable with. And maybe I could have tried to haggle a little bit more and just be like, listen, this card's clearly not like a $700 card or an $800 card when you can see the comps they're selling for, anywhere between 11 and 13. And same with the 5, like 450 to 6. So I was trying to be very reasonable about what I had those cards listed at. And I also understand that vintage prices can vary because of centering or corners or whatnot, way more so than ultra modern. But instead, I just kind of was like, I just don't have time for dealing with that. And he was talking to some other guy, and he was getting kind of tough with the other guy who he was talking with about I think a Ricky Henderson 9. So I just picked up my cards and was like, well, thanks. And he's like, well, you've got beautiful cards, but obviously he didn't think they were beautiful enough to give me what they were worth. And I don't know. If you get a card, I think that it's like 1,100. I think you've got no problem turning around and selling it for 1,100. And I get that you're going to have to finagle with a guy, but then list it at 12, like where I had it, and then be willing to go to 1,100. That's kind of just where I stand. But I mean, all in all, can't complain. Outside of that was kind of annoying. But I got 2 really great cards that I've wanted. Picked up a couple autos. Sent off some stuff to COMC that I'd been saving up, plus the cards that I had bought while I was there. And overall it was a really great experience, and I'm looking forward to going back in 2 years. I hope everybody else who was there had a great time, found everything you were looking for, maybe stumbled upon some things that you didn't think you wanted until you saw them, and they just, you made, I don't know if it's an impulse, but you reached and just, said, I'm going for it, and found something great. Maybe made some trades, found some great stuff in bargain boxes, and everything else that could possibly make your national dreams come true. So thanks for watching. If you like, subscribe and like. And I've got a reveal coming up here in the next couple of days, hopefully. It's been very busy, but I'm hoping to be able to, when these come in, do a reveal. And I've got a vintage wax pack reveal coming up here too. Those also got shipped off from the guy I go through in PSA. So maybe a couple videos next week. Hopefully you're going to be there to catch them. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Peace.